Okay, so page 2 is about your phase shifts. So your amplitude is 1, your period is 2 pi. And that's because your A is 1 and your B is 1. Now really all the phase shifts we've done, that has happened. Your H value, this is negative pi. Please check this. So H is negative pi, the phase shift is pi units to the left. So even if this is negative, this one is positive because you're telling me where it's going. So the phase shift is pi units to the left. Okay? Once you do this, go to your chart. Alright? So this is your P of x, this is your x, so it's sine. So you always want to start at your H value. Then you're going to end at your H value plus your period. So negative pi plus 2 pi is pi. So you can decide if you want to graph those right away, negative pi and then pi. You can count and go 1, 2, 3, 4. This is halfway, so halfway is 0. Okay, so when you have sine and you apply the phase shift, you still start at 0, the midway is 0, and you end at 0. And then what's halfway between negative pi and 0? Negative pi over 2. Okay, and then you reach your max value, which is 1 because that's your amplitude. Okay, and then pi over 2 is the next halfway point, and that's where you reach your minimum value, which is negative 1. Alright, and then once you do that, I usually graph my curve and then I continue my pattern. So I do that first just to make sure I have the right shape, and then I follow my pattern. So I'm going to go over 1, up to my max here. So this is what the end of your graph should look like. Then I'm going to go down to my min, and then here, this is what your graph should look like. You have to span the whole graph, okay? You can stop there, it's fine. You can stop here, it's fine. But if you put an arrow, just make sure it's in the right direction. Notice how I do this graph, now I'm going here. So your x-intercepts occur at, pick any one of your x-intercepts that are on your chart. You can pick any of these 5. I usually pick the 0, so it's 0 plus pi n, which would just be pi n. Okay, you could also do, here's another x-intercept. You could do pi plus pi n. You could do negative pi plus pi n. Okay, any of those are fine. Any of those are acceptable. Yes?
So you can't just write down all the x-intercepts?
No, so it has to be the formula. Because remember, this graph goes on forever. So your x-intercepts has to be an equation with n in it. Same thing for your maxima and your minima. Okay, now the maxima are going to have a value of 1. The minima are going to have a value of negative 1. So see how you have 2 maxima on your graph? You can choose either one. Okay, so my maxima, if I look on my chart, I have negative pi over 2. So it's negative pi over 2 plus 2 pi n. Or, if you want, you could do 3 pi over 2 plus 2 pi n. The minima, I have pi over 2, so you can do pi over 2 plus 2 pi n. Okay, or, where's another place I have a minima? Yep, and it would just be that plus 2 pi n. So, you have to have an equation for here, here, and here. Okay? With n in it. Okay? Yeah. Okay, and then for this one, your amplitude is 1, your period is 2 pi. Your h value is positive pi over 4 because you're going pi over 4 units to the right. Again, after you do that, you go right to your chart. So you're going to start at your h value. Your h value is pi over 4. To find h plus the period, you just do pi over 4 plus 2 pi. So get your like terms, right? If you make the bottom of this 4, this becomes 8. So I'm at 9 pi over 4. Okay, so this one had the pi over 2, so if you label halfway, that's your pi over 4. So if they give you a pi over 2, like understand that this is 1 pi over 4, 2 pi over 4, 3 pi over 4, 4 pi over 4, 5 pi over 4, 6 pi over 4, 7 pi over 4, 8
Attention
pi over 4,
Tia Wilson Talent Center students.
9 pi over 4.
You must get on the Okemos bus for return to the high school today and tomorrow only. Again, you must get on the Okemos bus for return to the high school today and tomorrow only.
Alright, so you start at your max, you end at your max. So at pi over 4, you're at 1. Okay, at 9 pi over 4, which I know is off the graph, but I'm just going to put it here so that you have it. This is why I let you do this on your own graph paper, so you could go by pi over 4. Okay, and then halfway in between, if you're finding the halfway, all you have to do is add these together. What's pi over 4 plus 9 pi over 4? 10 pi over 4, and then multiply it by a half. That would be 10 pi over 8. What is 10 pi over 8 reduced to? Yeah. So that's where your minimum value is. Okay, and then when you're finding these, again, add them together, multiply by a half. So this would be 6 pi over 4. And then times 1/2 is 6 pi over 8. And 6 pi over 8 is going to reduce to 3 pi over 4, which is here. So I didn't know if you guys would like doing the halfway, and that's why I let you do that here. I let you make your own graph, and then you could also use your own graph to find this is 7 pi over 4. If you look at the pattern, you're going up plus 2 pi, plus 2 pi, plus 2 pi, plus 2 pi. So if you can recognize that pattern, that just makes it a little easier for you. Okay, and then you're just going to continue the pattern. So see how this is 1, 2? So you could go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. No, it's no calculator. So none of the stuff that we've done has been with the calculator. Alright, so then the x-intercepts are correct. Again, you can just pick one from your chart. So this is one of your x-intercepts. So 3 pi over 4 plus pi n. The maxima are going to be at, have a value of 1 and -1. And you can start here. My max is at pi over 4. So pi over 4 plus 2 pi n. My minima is at 5 pi over 4. So 5 pi over 4 at 2 pi n. So even though I'm using those, remember, you have multiple options. Okay, you have multiple options for those. All right, let's check our tangent graphs.